Hello, hello, and welcome. I am so delighted to be here. All right, we are going to get started in about 1 minute. So, for those of you that are just joining in or just coming in, my name is Faith Hunter, and this is our very first monthly check in. Lower this music. All right. Again, welcome everyone. My name is Faith Hunter. I am so delighted that you are joining me today for our very first Spiritually Fly check in. Before we dive into all of the things that we're going to do today, I do want you to just pause for a moment. And as you pause, just start to take a couple of long, deep breaths in and out of your nose. Relax the shoulders. Feel the crown of your head rise all the way up towards the heavens. Just allow yourself to fully and completely arrive. That is all you have to do in this moment is breathe and be. Breathe and be. And then let's take another deep breath in. Exhale, empty out. And the thing that I want to share today, just when mic is working. Looks like it is. If you're in the comments, just give me a thumbs up, making sure that you can hear me okay. All right, I think we are good to go. Yeah, all right. So, again, my name is Faith Hunter. Delighted that everyone is here. You've arrived. Definitely give yourself some space to fully and completely be in this space and this moment in time. If you are a member of the Spiritually Fly app, which was originally the Elevate app, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for going and traveling along this transition and this journey with me. If you are not a member of the Spiritually Fly app, I definitely will share a little bit about it during our session. But really, today, this is again our very first monthly check-in terms of the format that I'm using now. I used to do check-ins probably a little bit over a year ago, and I just didn't quite like the format fully and completely. And I wanted to be able to have a topic and like meet with you guys every month. And now that I have a little bit more space and time in my life, that's kind of what I am doing now. So again, I want to say thank you. All of these sessions are already scheduled for the next 3 months, so for the rest of the year, so definitely place those on your calendar. And today's theme is really all about the duality. And I find that sometimes it can be challenging for us to be in this space where we are feeling that essence of tug and war, like that aspect of tug and war of holding on to what we really need or we think that we need or we are extremely attached to, and also being that space of letting go. And what I find is that in that moment of letting go, even when it's challenging, it gives us this opportunity to be in this place of giving as well as receiving. So basically this topic is all about the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine, and these very contrasting energies. So I just want you to close your eyes once again and just take another deep breath in, exhale, empty out, and just kind of observe and notice, what does that mean to you? Meaning, what does that yin and yang, that masculine and feminine energy mean in your head? But also, what does it feel like in your heart and your body? Just kind of assess that for a moment. And as you start to breathe through that, I'm going to talk a little bit more. And again, you can keep your eyes opened or closed on this, or just cast them down softly. But what I find is that this energy of letting go, I often question both myself, and then when I'm working with people, is like, how do we really master the art of letting go of what we no longer need and what no longer serves us, while at the same time being in that place of openness and receiving what really would nurture or can nurture and support our souls on a deep level. This is sometimes the moment that we get stuck in the middle and we can't really decide. But what I want to share doing our session today and through our practice is that I know this thought of letting go and also holding on definitely resonates with many people. And really, the truth at the end of the day is that it's not about balance, or it is about balance, I should say, but it's not about trying to achieve that balance or trying to choose one side over the other. It's really about being with the ebbs and flow, right? Even if it's that flow back and forth in between, to embrace the moment of surrender at some point moment in our life, but then also tap into that aspect of strength. So it's that softness in the power, that ease in the intensity, right? It's that playfulness of that balance between letting go and receiving. So, again, we're just going to kind of explore that with our breath. We're going to explore that in some of my tips and reflective thoughts. And then I'm also going to guide you through a short meditation towards the end to help you hopefully integrate this concept into your body as well as your mind. So again, if you want to grab a notepad, feel free to do so. If you want to keep your eyes closed and just kind of chill and absorb all of this, because I'm going to talk a little bit more before I open the floor up for questions, feel free to grab a pen and paper, grab a cup of tea, some water, or whatever you think that you might need. I also want to share that in all of our extremely fast-paced lives, it is so easy for us to get caught up in all of the extremes. Um, the extreme of holding on super tightly, very specifically to old habits, past relationships, and even our limiting beliefs. I find that myself and others, like all of us, we cling to what feels safe and familiar, even if it no longer serves us. But then in the next moment of us holding on and clinging, we're also trying to desperately let go. And that results in us sometimes feeling lost, results in us feeling a little ungrounded, even though we have that desire to let go. But what I want you to really think about, the letting go and the receiving are both powerful acts of love. because letting go is an act of courage. It's about creating space for us to grow, this opportunity for us to heal. And of course, it opens this amazing door for transformation. When we release the heaviness, the stagnant energy, the sometimes misalignment, when we let all of that go, we actually make room for new energy. Now, on the other hand, receiving, right, being in that place of pure abundance and openness is an act of grace in an interesting way because it requires us to be open. It requires us to trust and welcome truly what the universe has in store for us. It's also about believing that we are worthy. I'm going to say that again so you hear me clearly. It is about us being worthy of the abundance that is waiting for us all. And I always like to say abundance truly is our birthright. So as we think about that energy of the masculine and the feminine and the yin and the yang, definitely within many ancient cultures, that duality, they're not independent. They are actually just these balancing beautiful forces. Like, yes, there is this one side and then there's this other, but they are also beautifully intertwined and connected. So you have this aspect of like the yin energy, right? Or the feminine energy. And that energy is associated with softness, intuition, surrender, while the yang energy, right, that more sun, that more masculine energy is about action, it's about strength, it's about intention, right? And it's like extend my index finger's a Jupiter finger. It's about action and intention. Now these energies in our culture, right? And we know that they sometimes feel like they can only exist alone, but they are actually intertwined. So, regardless of what gender or how we personally identify, that energy sits within us. We all have the masculine and the feminine. We all move through these different phases of yin and yang. And sometimes they can be independent, but most often they're kind of like doing this very interesting dance going back and forth. Right? We feel this sense of femininity like sometimes when I know for me, sometimes when I'm dancing, I'm like, oh yeah, that's really feminine. But then the bass drops and it's like whoosh, right? And you feel that very powerful vibration. And that's a very like grounding energy, but then also intense. And so that can be like this play of masculine, even as you move your body. So I'm finding that in order for us to cultivate that sense of balance or be comfortable with the dance of the masculine, the feminine, the yin and the yang, we have to allow ourselves to engage in various practices. What I've experienced over time, right? I'm 20 plus years of teaching, but very specifically when I first started diving into the practices of yoga and meditation in the 90s, is that through my practices of yoga, through my Kundalini practices, especially, there's always this play of masculine, feminine. And then in Hatha yoga, you have the sun salutations and the moon salutations, the restorative yoga, like all of these different practices show us how to be with both simultaneously sometimes. I also really find that my somatic practice, my breathwork practice, and my meditation practices have also enabled me to discover the nuances of the yin and the yang. And through these dynamic experiences, it's been really about me allowing myself to be in the play of both. Or especially, I should say, in those moments that are challenging in my life. It's like, where do I need to tap in to move through this challenging moment? What do I need to let go and release in this challenging moment? How can I be in the place of receptivity in this challenging moment? And I often ask myself that so many times. So actually, I'm going to have you do that right now. Again, close your eyes and just take a couple of deep breaths. And I want you to think about one moment in your life where you need, at this moment, right, reality in this current existence, what do you need to let go and what do you need to receive? And how can you find that play between the two? And then as you think about that thing that you need to let go of, even if it's just a very tiny, small piece in this moment, just kind of say to yourself, I am going to let go of this so that I can make space for that. Or just simply make space for my own inner peace. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, empty out. As you start to blink your eyes open, I just want you to know when you lean too heavy into one energy, whether it's holding on or even always letting go, right? A lot of times we miss out on the magic, the richness that life has to offer. But when we find that play between the energies, the holding on of the masculine, right? Or of the letting go, the more feminine energy, the moon energy, we actually have the capacity to create a more harmonious and a deeper sense, I find, of wholeness in our lives. So now I want to go through, and as I start to go through these, I'm going to give you three tips and three recommendations before we drop into our breath work. And but also before I open the floor up for questions. So if you do, I'm going to pause right now. If you do have any questions, feel free to start placing them in the chat box so that I can answer them when I get to that point. All right. So I'm going to share just three really powerful tips. And the first tip is to listen to your body's signals. Today, actually, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I really wanna go for my walk run," right? I was telling myself, "Wake up in the morning, I'm gonna go for my walk run, and it's gonna be great." And then I was like, "Oh my gosh, it is like 90 degrees in New Orleans." And I'm like, "If I go outside, I'm gonna feel overheated." Like, I kind of already knew that my body just should want something. Like, I was thinking to myself, "My body really needs just a very gentle yoga practice," but I was in my head, I was like, "I need that run." And then I was like, "Let me pause for a moment." So I was, like, drinking my water in the kitchen and just kind of setting myself up for the day, and I just paused, and I took a couple of deep breaths, and I was like, "No, I'm not gonna go outside. 1, it's too hot and way too humid." And what my body needs, it was telling me. I just wasn't listening. It was telling me to get on my mat, use my props, move around mindfully. If it felt good to go a little deeper, go deeper, but listen to the body. So the first thing is definitely to listen to what your body is telling you. Give yourself always pause and do that. Sometimes I even place my hands on my body. So on my one hand on my heart, another one on my belly, or sometimes I just like place my hands around my shoulders. One really good somatic practice to do is to place your right hand underneath your left armpit and then place your left hand on your right shoulder or right around the bicep, tricep, and just kind of hold there. And it kind of helps to bring you inward and tap into the physical body. And I always find that just kind of giving myself this moment to pause, but also this hug aids me in arriving and coming into the present and now with the messages that my body wants to deliver. Gives me an opportunity to listen. And so, of course, if you're active in your yoga practice, you want to definitely drop in and use those moments during your yoga practice to pause and experience and allow yourself to feel the moments of tightness. Be okay with the tension, right? My hips were talking to me today, and even be with those energetic feelings of heaviness, right, as you move through your practice. Or on the flip side, if you're feeling energetic, you're feeling vibrant, like allow yourself to tap a little deeper into your maybe sun salutations or do one of your challenging poses. But again, listen, because the body will tell you where the resistance is, where the attachment is, and where you need to let go. And kind of coming back to that story that I shared earlier, I had to let go of that mental thought that I needed to go out for a walk run. I did one yesterday. Now it's just time for me to be on my mat and breathe and feel. And that's what's most important, or what's most important this morning. The second tip I want to share is cutting cords, right? And so releasing attachment. So often, oh my God. I mean, I feel like it's an everyday occurrence sometimes that we hold on to people, past experiences, our limiting beliefs that are based in fear or even habit, and all of the other attachments that you can possibly think of, tangible and those ones that are just in our minds and our hearts. And that energy, of course, drains us. It keeps us stuck instead of us finding that play between the masculine, the feminine, the letting go and the releasing. We're just trapped in the attachment. And so, what I always suggest is doing a cutting cords practice. Of course, I have a cutting cords practice inside of the Elevate app, but I also have a cutting cords. I think two meditations. Definitely, I have one cutting cords practice that is on YouTube as well. And so, the technique of cutting cords is really about energetically releasing the invisible ties that bind us to our old stories, to those patterns, to those behaviors, to those relationships. And it gives us an opportunity to absolutely reclaim our space. So you cut the cords and you're just like, and then whew, space opens up. That's my space. That place where I am truly and completely aligned within my body, my mind, and my soul. And so we have to allow ourselves to do that. Right? It's okay. Like, it's okay to let go of that negative thought, that old pattern, even though sometimes when we drop into it, it feels so comfortable because it's familiar. We gotta let it go. The third one is create rituals of receiving. Now, one of my favorite rituals of receiving actually is one way that I start the day. And of course, the ritual of receiving is about openness, but it's also very specific about being present. So, first thing in the morning, before I even throw my legs over the side of the bed, I express this moment of gratitude. So, my alarm will go off. I press the snooze, and then I know I have like 9 minutes to be in gratitude, or I usually do gratitude and then I do this moment of like just manifestation. And so I kind of like manifest my day, or if I'm working on a particular thing that I'm trying to manifest, I usually allow that to show up in my mind. It's almost like this my first morning meditation. So again, I'll place my hands over my body. A lot of times I'll place both hands over the center of my chest and I will just say a couple of words of gratitude, just whatever comes to mind. I do have a set thing that I always like to give gratitude for my family and my dear friends and all of those individuals that are important in my life, both here on the the earthly plane, and of course, all my guides and my ancestors, and then I move into my manifestation. It's a great thing to do, and it's easy and simple. Now you can do it in the morning, you can do it in the evening, like, you can do it in the middle of the day, like, you can just pause for a quick moment when you see something that inspires you, right? That can become a ritual. I always like to do that, especially when I'm walking around New Orleans, and I mean, like, there's so many things that inspire me. The water, I mean, just seeing the Mississippi River, I'm like, "Oh, yes, thank you, Mother Nature. Thank you, Oshun." Every time I take a walk, I may stop by the Mississippi, and I'm like, "Gotta stop by there and express gratitude for Oshun." So that becomes a ritual of receiving. So, I definitely want you to think about how you can add those 3 things into your life: the ritual of receiving, the practice of cutting the cords, and listening to your body to help you find that sense of balance. Now, before we go into our the breath work and also the guided meditation, let me know if you have any questions. And if you don't, no worries. It's all good. I will just jump into the practice, but definitely if you have any questions, any thoughts, feel free to do so. While you're thinking about those questions and thoughts, I am going to add, for those of you that are new to Spiritually Fly, but also for people that have not updated their app that are current members, I just want to share that you can see the app looks different. There are a couple of little tweaks. There are a few new things in the app. I'm so grateful to our tech team in the UK for working on this for the past couple of months. So, this has been in the works for probably about 3 months, making these tiny adjustments and going back and forth. But we have some different colors because we are spiritually fly now and no longer elevate. And so we also have, if you notice here, there's some new icons in the Explore tab that direct you. And then the other thing that I am loving right now is that we have our workshops. So workshops have always been there, but now the workshops are color coded to match the colors from I'm looking around because I thought I usually have a book sitting by my desk. The workshops are color coded based upon the book. So I just wanted to share that really quickly. No questions, no worries. We are going to jump right into this breath work and our guided meditation. So go on and get comfortable as we drop into our breath work. Maybe take a couple of deep breaths in through your nose and exhale out of your mouth. Soften those shoulders. Breathe deeply in and out of your nose. Now, the breathing practice that we're going to do is kind of like this aspect and play on our topic for today. Basically, you're going to breathe in, allowing yourself to be in that place of receptivity. And then you're going to sip in a little bit more air. And then you're going to hold, right? Allow yourself to be in that pause right at the top. And then you're going to exhale slowly out of the nose, fully and completely releasing. So, again, let's do that a few times. Breathing in through your nose, hold, sip in a little bit more air, breathing in. You're right there at the top. Sip in a little bit more air and exhale slowly. We breathe in. We pause, sip in a little bit more. Keep holding. And exhale. Again, continue to do that for a few more rounds. Know that as you exhale, you are letting go of any heaviness, any tension that you may be experiencing in your physical body. And when you inhale, I want you to just imagine anything new that you desire in your life to start to pour in. And then know that it's okay to draw in a little bit more. And then exhale what is not going to elevate you and support your highest good. A few more rounds. We breathe in. Hold. Releasing and letting go. Taking your time to move through the practice. Breathing in that sense of love, peace, inspiration, creativity, openness, freedom. Allowing that to simmer and move through your entire physical and emotional body. And then when you exhale, you're allowing that exhalation to deliver anything that is not aiding you out of your body. Let it move. Let it go. Allow yourself to release. Take another deep breath in wherever you are. And then as you exhale, let out a big sigh. Oh, I'm going to do that 2 more times. Breathing in through your nose. Exhale out a big sigh. Oh, and one more deep breath in through the nose. Let out a big sigh. Oh. Now the eyes can remain opened or closed as we start to move into our meditation. Feeling the hips grounded into the earth. The crown of your head rising all the way up as the spine elongates, the shoulders soften away from your ears. You feel this sense of openness across your chest. Your hands can rest wherever it's most comfortable for you. Allow the breath to flow naturally in and out of your nose. And I want you to bring all of your internal awareness right between your brow. And I want you to feel that energy coming from the base of your spine, past your belly, into your chest, and then moving right between your brow. And you're gazing internally gazing out of that point. And as you do, I want you to imagine yourself standing in the middle of a flowing river. Now, as you see your feet planted right there in the river, the water maybe washing around your ankles or calf muscles, or maybe it's all the way up towards your thighs. But I want this river to represent the flow of your life and that beautiful balance between letting go and receiving. As the water flows around you, twirls around you, I want you to feel that aspect of both releasing what no longer is elevating you or you need in your life. But I also want you to feel that gentle arrival of new possibilities. So it's like the water is cleansing you and nourishing you simultaneously. As you continue to stand there in the river, I want you to feel the power and strength of your body, the steadiness of your legs, and also the openness of your chest. You feel grounded and rooted while at the same time feeling soft and receptive. Allow yourself to trust that the water will provide you exactly what you need. All you have to do is stand there. There's no need to adjust, no need to force anything. You simply stand in this flowing river. You breathe. You find comfort. And maybe if it feels right for you, you lean back and allow the river to carry you past any heaviness, any fear, any disappointment, allowing the river to bring you what you need, or maybe even carry you to that place that is going to open you up and provide you with its magnetism, its magic, its miracles, and the blessings. I invite you to take these next few breaths, allow yourself to drop in for another minute. As you settle into the releasing and the receiving, as you allow the water to aid you in finding inner balance and harmony. Another deep breath in. As you exhale, you start to find your way walking back to the shore, stepping onto dry ground, and then you begin to bring gentle movement into your body as you arrive in this present moment, stretching wherever you need to, doing whatever your body desires. And as you come back into this moment, again, if you have any thoughts or comments, feel free to drop them in the comment box. If not, no worries. And definitely what I want to share is that I am so delighted to be able to start offering these monthly sessions with you all that are part of the Spiritually Fly app, the rebranded new Spiritually Fly app. Also, make sure that you are following us. Definitely, I mean, I'm sure you maybe follow me already on Instagram or here on YouTube or wherever you are. But Spiritually Fly Life has its own page that was previously the Elevate page. So definitely go over there and follow, because there will be different content between the two pages. Like sometimes we'll collaborate, and then sometimes Spiritually Fly will do its own thing. So, again, thank you. Mark your calendars for our October, November, and December sessions. They're already set to go unless I have some like weird travel changes. And the other thing I want to share is that if you are a member of the Spiritually Fly app, there is a comment. Let me see. Hey, thank you so much. If you are a member of the Spiritually Fly app, I do want you to know that we are having a equinox class, and I've opened the equinox class. It's a public offering, and so, but if you are a member of Spiritually Fly app, look in the app later this evening, and you will find a promo code that gives you a discount. Actually, it's 100% discount for app members. So go there, register for the fall equinox class that is happening on Sunday. And of course, it will be available on the replay as well. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate you. And definitely don't hesitate. My goal here with the Spiritually Fly app is to, and membership basically, is to be able to answer your questions and serve as a major resource for you. So, yes, all the content is sitting there inside the app, or lots of content is sitting inside the app. But what I will be doing now is that I will be providing these sessions, which are an amazing opportunity to do some private coaching. So don't hesitate to ask the questions. This is what I'm here for, to serve you. And the app is the support system, right? To aid you in moving through whatever stages of life you are in. And look out for our fall challenge, because we're going to have a fall challenge inside the app. All right, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, rest of your evening, and I hope to have you join me on Sunday. All right, take care. Ciao.